All right, my name is Andrew Messia, and this is the Medellin podcast. Today we're going live, and for those of you guys that can't catch us live, we're going to be recording this and editing it and publishing it around 9 o'clock, maybe a little after, based on...
Colombian time, 9 o'clock Colombian time.
9 o'clock Colombian time, could be 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah,
so we don't
or
know.
tomorrow, who knows?
So what are we talking today about, Joel?
Well, due to the fact that we're in quarantine up here and we're not leaving, and well, we left a few times to go for coffee at a very secluded place called Ijamia, which we usually plug a lot on this show because our friend Sean owns that. We've been caught up in here because of the old Corona. I'm just going to go call it Corona because there's so many COVID-19 and all of these names. But the coronavirus has hit here in Colombia and here in Medellin, and it's having its effects. So instead of doing our regular podcast where we get semi-shit-faced and talk serious stuff while laughing, we decided to do a more or less serious episode on the coronavirus to let people, I don't know about you, Andrew, but I have people, my close friends from Canada contacted me this morning and be like, hey man, what's going on down there? I haven't heard anything about what's going on in Colombia. I guess we don't make Canadian news or US news or whatever.
Yeah.
We figured, why not? Why not join the wave of newscasters out there and give our own opinion?
Yeah, that's right. How many cases of corona are there in Colombia right now? Do you know?
Last time I checked, it was about 126 or 128.
126 or 128. And we are a population of about 50 million Colombians that obviously abided by the census. It's probably more.
Yeah.
Same thing, and it's very similar to California's census, which is about 40 million. California is a little bit farther along the curve with this contamination. And obviously, granted that they have more international cities like San Francisco and LA, but they've got over 1,000 cases, and yesterday they just had about 50 new cases in one day, and about 20 deaths total so far in California, and the governor of California has shut down pretty much everything in California per my parents and the news that I've been watching.
Yeah, it's basically like martial law.
Yeah, it's kind of like martial law. I don't know if they've got, military out there, but you could get in serious trouble if you're not abiding by the rules that they put out there. And the president of Colombia, as of last night, came out with news that he's going to institute a curfew and mandatory quarantine for everyone starting
in an
today.
hour, right?
Starting at
an hour.
It starts technically at like 6 p.m.
No, it's 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. It starts technically at 7 p.m.
But
and-
something does start at 6 p.m. The drinking thing. You can't, no public drinking as of 6. So you got like a couple of minutes to pound a drink in the street if you're really that hard up for a drink. We know a few of you. You can have your drinks outside, but then you got to take it home. As a matter of fact, talking about that, I think how many days has it been now? 2 or 3 since there's no restaurants and stuff. What's going on?
Yeah, no
with that?
restaurants, no bars can be open. Although in Parque Lleras, I heard that places like Hooters and a couple other places were open. I don't know why.
Right?
They get
night?
special treatment, but they were open and there were people frequenting them. So some people are taking this very seriously. We're taking it very seriously by self-quarantining ourselves. Mm-hmm. Literally, we only go out to pick up our coffee at Ijamia, and then we run back home to try to beat the coronavirus from catching us.
And we've been training really hard in the gym, so we can outrun that shit now.
Yeah, and then we come back home and just work. Literally, that's all we've been doing. Our business has been affected by this. I'm sure a lot of people a lot of people's businesses have. Even though we work online, our business has been affected. We're not in a recession-proof industry. I don't even know what that would be.
I don't know. Apart from if you're like a funeral home or a hospital or news or the media.
Yeah, the media.
The number one industry right now that's profiting is the media in terms of money earned. So their shit's just shooting up. Everybody else is, you see all day, you see stocks are being, they're plummeting by like 60, 70, 80%. It's happening in the span of a week or two. And so a few of the things we want to talk about here is also the economy, what's happening with the economy here, and what it's looking like for businesses, local small businesses, and even some of the bigger ones.
Yeah. Well, for me, some of the most important questions are my day-to-day life type things, right? So, for example, I use Rappi every day. And one of my main questions by the way, we asked some of our more professional people like Alan Gongora, James Lindsay, about some of these questions that we couldn't really decipher from what the government issued. So they were able to help us translate some of that and get some pretty clear answers and some kind of gray stuff too. Yeah. But my main question, or one of my main questions is Rappi going to work during the weekend until Tuesday? Because if you're stuck at home and you want to order something, are they going to be allowed to work and bring it to me? I don't want to order something and even though they're working, it's illegal. They get in trouble because I'm ordering something. I definitely don't want to do that. It's the same reason why I'm quarantined or self-quarantined since last week or 2 weeks ago, where I don't want to be responsible for infecting someone else's grandparent or aiding in that. So it's the same thing. If Rappi is illegal during this time, I don't want to be ordering. And even though they will take my order, go pick it up, they're running the risk of getting in trouble. So, Joel, did we get a clear answer on whether Rappi is going to be working or not?
So from what we're told, and jump on in live if James or if Alan, you guys are watching or anybody else has heard differently. But, by the way, disclaimer on this one. We are not in government. This is not anything official. We're saying this is stuff that we've tried to verify with as many sources as possible. But from what we understand, Rappi, by the way, for those of you who are not familiar with it, if anybody at all is watching this from outside of Colombia, is basically a service that delivers anything in anything. This could be food, flowers, even gym equipment, which I ordered last night.
In the US, it's Postmates.
Postmates, yeah. So Felipe is saying it's similar to Postmates, Uber Eats, any of these type services. And from what we're told,
remember Grubhub?
Grubhub.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, is Rappi can work tomorrow, but I think there is a caveat as to what type of services they can be running. There's this entire list of essential services.
Yeah.
So restaurants, for example, they're open. So Rappi can be a delivery service and work as a delivery service for everything from restaurants. And I think pharmacies also, because medicine is necessary, so they can run to pharmacies and restaurants, which is the other thing. Are restaurants open? The answer is no. Their doors are supposed to be closed, but they can still function on a delivery-only basis.
Right. Yeah. So the restaurants and bars, well, bars are not open at all, but restaurants can have their personnel there working, but they cannot have patrons. They cannot have people coming into their location. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they can take orders from Rappi or from any other app or phone orders. So that makes me feel better because I can order food.
Well, one of the things that Felipe pointed out that the document said is that you can't order a Rappi to go pick up food from like a hotel restaurant. Like a hotel restaurant can't be doing delivery. Is that what you said?
No. What it says is that the restaurants inside hotels can only attend the people that are being guests in the
Exactly. So they can't be sending food around. Okay. And actually, just talking about that, why does that even matter? You wonder. Actually, in my opinion, the best sushi restaurant when all of this has passed, or if you want to, I don't know if you can order for them based on this rule, but now I think it's called NAU in the Hotel Marriott, to me, has some of the best sushi anywhere. So let's say you're just waiting to order sushi tonight from now, technically at 7 o'clock you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, and one of the listeners here is saying that the mayor of Medellin is giving great information for those of you that speak Spanish. Para los que hablan español, el alcalde de Medellín en la página de Facebook de él es de Quintero Calle. está dando información muy importante o buena información. Nos informan. So if you speak Spanish, go watch that and don't watch our ugly mugs.
Yeah.
Because he's probably way more accurate than we are. Oh, and I'll probably be watching that recorded video anyway. As far as, okay, so for those of you that are just joining, we're talking about the coronavirus in Medellin. And we are well, that's not disinfectant, by the way. That's
Listen, I spray anything now. I just spray
Limpia
random
vidrios.
stuff. I walk in and spray myself in the face with cologne. I just spray.
Yeah.
I'm spraying left, right,
Yeah,
and
we
center.
we went to the store to buy disinfectant and we got degreaser.
Yeah, we got the greaser. This is my lovely Spanish. I'm like, yo, Andrew, it says this, and I just saw the this, and I figured it said disinfectant. It said
limpiavidrios, which is window cleaner.
Desengrasante is that degreaser. Yeah. So we'll be using degreaser to keep the corona away. Before we jump on, we take the coronavirus seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. Hence why we'd like to point out our official sponsors, toilet paper, which we've been stacking. And also, we've got the old Huggies here because you never can be too sure how you're wiping your bottom. We got some alcohol, and of course, we got our hand sanitizers running low. And we're drinking. By the way, if you're in Medellin, big shout out, big spot to these guys, Legri, Legri. You can look them up on Google because they're off of Rappi right now and they do deliveries. I don't know if this is considered an essential service or not. We ordered it yesterday, but it is the best goddamn sangria you can get in Medellin. They do 1 liter, 2 liters, and even smaller. Legri, Legri. Check them out. We'll be drinking a bit of this today.
Yeah, pour me some, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm going to pour you some. And and last but not least, we always got to talk about these guys. We got Ihamiya coffee. We stocked up on that. We got peanut butter for Andrew. And we've got some cold brew Prohibido. So these are the products we have today. And on my head, by the way, first time we're featuring one of these brands. If people are coming to visit Medellin, these guys are out in Envigado. They're called Afro Soul or Calles de Medellin. And they were like the original company here that was pushing like urban street gear
It's pretty
in
cool.
Medellin.
Yeah, all right. So we're talking about coronavirus and how it's affected us here in Medellin. What's going on? What's happening? So, all right, we talked about Rappi, the food delivery and product delivery. Obviously, they're not going to be delivering any clothes or electronics or doing Rappi Favores very much because most businesses are going to be closed.
They took off Rappi Favores. Sean from Ihamiya confirmed that he just heard that Rappi Favores is done.
Rappi Favor, for those of you that don't know what it is, it's basically if there's a restaurant or a shop that's not on the Rappi app for delivery, you can ask for a Rappi Favor, give them the address, tell them exactly what to buy for you. They'll go get it, buy it with their Rappi credit card, and then they bring it back to you. And then obviously you pay, whether it's through Datafono, which is the data phone, the card reader, or cash, or a bank transfer. But that's no longer available for the next probably 4 days until Tuesday because most shops are going to be closed.
So that's the lockdown period. The lockdown's from when to when again?
From 7 p.m. tonight?
Yes, until Tuesday, 3 a.m.
Until Tuesday, 3 a.m. 3 a.m.
So that's basically Monday, late night.
Yeah.
The reason is because this Monday happens to be a holiday.
So Monday is a holiday.
Yes.
Monday is a holiday.
So it's what we call here a puente.
Wait,
that's
we are
French.
in March. What holiday is it? I don't remember.
I remember, but that's the reason why the curfew is being extended until Tuesday, 3 a.m.
So one of the things about that is, so here's the thing. People want to know how long is this? I think one of the things that the government's doing is trying not to panic people, which I think is the right thing to do. I personally think that the number of folks infected is being under, they're not stating the true amount. Just because the progression doesn't make sense to me. One day it jumps by 30 people and then the next day it jumps by 5. Just doesn't add up to me. It doesn't follow the trend that's happening in other countries. That's one thing. And then the other thing is we're on lockdown, basically on quarantine till Tuesday at 3, right? 3 a.m. But why? What is that? I think that, in my opinion, I think that's just a temporary thing, not to say, hey, it's a month. You're going to be locked away for a month. People are going to freak out and lose their minds, panic shop and do stuff like that. So my personal opinion is that they're just saying that now. And I would not be surprised if on Monday, at some point during the day, they're like, this is being extended for another 2 weeks. That's my opinion. I don't think we're in here for
because
for 4
there
days.
will be new cases.
Yeah.
It's inevitable that there will be new cases and eventually deaths. God forbid that it's many or any at all. But based on statistics, I'm not a data analyst. Joel is a data analyst. We've gone through this with some of our professional friends that are statisticians, lawyers, accountants, and they all look at the numbers and they agree that it's just going to expand and it's inevitable. So,
but I think the question to you is why? Like, what do you think in Colombia? So, so I have some friends I mentioned to you. They now live in Spain, and I see their Facebook, and they're Canadians, and they used to live here in Medellin, and they're freaking out. They're writing people. They're like, please take this shit seriously. I watch it unfold here in Spain, and like early on Monday when I saw these posts come up, they said, listen, we in Spain, we saw this exact thing happen that could happen to you. Is a week ago, we were like, oh my God, we feel so sorry for people in Italy, but that's not going to happen here because we took precautions, and people didn't really take it seriously. And now look at the position Spain's in. What do you think? Do you think people let's go with Medellin, because I don't know all over Colombia. I can only imagine what the hell is going on the coast. That's, to me, is probably chaotic. There's nobody taking that seriously. But what do you think? How do you think that people in Medellin, if you just, obviously you don't know everyone, but how do you think people are reacting?
I think Medellin is actually reacting pretty well compared to probably the coast and maybe other cities in Colombia. Why I say they're handling it well is because, for one, we are not near an Italy type of spread. Spain was, and they acted way too late. I mean, when Italy was at like 20,000 confirmed cases, Spain was barely like shutting streets down and stuff. That's way too late. We're nowhere near anywhere that has that. Second, Colombia, it's very hard to get from one place to another from long distances. Unless if you're getting on a plane for a 45-minute ride, that's not happening in droves. So the spread is not going to be as exponential, I think, in my opinion, as in Italy, but or Spain, where you can hop on a train and get somewhere real quickly, right? But so in that regard, to answer your question, I think Medellin is doing a good job by getting people informed and telling them, stay in your fucking house, don't leave, don't go visit your fucking grandma, don't go visit your grandfather. If they've got fincas, go quarantine them. I know many of my friends, Carlos Duque, one of them, who plays basketball with us, he said that 2 weeks ago, both his parents, who are in their 70s, have gone up to a finca and they're living there by themselves right now, just to avoid anything. So I think people are being concerned or acting concerned in a concerned way. So for those of you just joining, we're talking about the coronavirus and how it's affecting life here in Medellin. It's affected me a lot because I can't go play basketball, first of all. I hate that. Second of all, I can't go to the gym. I haven't been able to go to the gym for like 2 weeks. I lost all my gains. Now I look like this. I used to be a lot buffer.
Yes, he did.
And
testify.
Yeah. But there are some things that are not going to be affected. For example, Rappi is not going to be affected. Rappi for restaurants and for food delivery, you're still going to be able to get that. Joel, did we find anything about Uber? Does anybody know out there, is Uber going to be working over this quarantine time from today until Tuesday? Can you get an Uber?
So from what I understand, and if anybody wants to correct us on this, taxis are able to work. And Uber to a certain extent, if people are going to the airport. Felipe's note said that if you can show that you have a flight out, you can get to the airport. But here's the thing. That only happens up to this weekend. When this weekend's done, there are no flights in or out of Colombia, from what I understand. Colombia is literally closing its borders even to its own people. So if you're a Colombian and you're trapped outside of here, and I've seen this, I've seen people reaching out for help. There's folks that went over to the US And now they can't get back in for whatever reason, and they don't have a lot of money. They don't have people over there, and they're asking for help. Now, they've encouraged Colombians to get back here, I guess, basically before Monday, or else they're going to be stuck out there. Now, Ubers and taxis are allowed to work in that regard, to take people to the airport. As in terms of Uber, one source said no, they're not allowed to work within the city regularly because they're not confirmed as a public service, or I think a public service is what you call it. But taxis are, so you can take a taxi. But there's a caveat to that also. You can't be in a taxi with you and your family going over to, your cousin's place for a nice dinner. I think from what I understand, it's one family member per family can go out for essential services like food or to a pharmacy or something.
Wait,
Is that
so
correct?
what if I've got my Sunday night quarantine girl that wants to come over? Can I send her an Uber to come over to my quarantined house?
I think that's a no. I'm going to go with no quarantine girl on that. But I also asked, what would that case be? And I think, we're not encouraging you to break the law or to mess around with this virus. But apparently, if you work in a restaurant, right? I think this is what I would say. If you worked in a restaurant, or you were potentially going to get groceries for your house, then you could hop into a taxi and go to the grocery store. And let's say, I would say, if I were that girl or guy, I didn't have my card. I left my card at my friend's place or something, and I need to buy groceries, and I would make up some fucking stupid little excuse. It's not the smartest thing to do, but I'm sure there's a way to work around it.
Please say that we are not encouraging people.
Well, we are not encouraging you to spread the virus, but I'm saying there's always a way around.
All right, so I'm not going to be calling my quarantine girl over.
I'll be your quarantine girl.
Joel's not my quarantine girl.
Yeah.
By the way, we have some message
in the Medellin podcast. Okay.
Somebody's writing over. Let me see.
Andres Julian says, cheer guys. Nick Bowman says,
Andres Julian.
Nick Bowman says, all the celebrities are getting the corona. You are just two more.
Well, we're getting the control. We're not even celebrity. We're just taking advantage.
By the way, Chris,
And Keepy Wood Adams says, love you guys. Stay safe.
Hey, love you too. Thank you guys for watching.
Chris from Tejo in Medellin, who his episode's coming out soon. Chris, who's
What are you talking about?
It just
came out. Sorry, Corona hit me. Chris said that if your Sunday quarantine girl is a nurse, she can come over. That is freaking brilliant.
Oh,
so therefore,
damn.
the nurses of this world are ruling. Yeah.
They're all infected already.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so
Okay.
Cindy, Franco's girlfriend, says that she's got a relative that works at St. Vincent's Hospital here in, I think that's in Envigado, San Vicente?
Vicente de Paul, no, that's in Centro.
In Centro downtown. Okay, so she works there and says that many people are infected there in the hospital. They've received many. They just haven't reported them. So obviously this is going to grow.
Yep.
So we talked about Rappi being affected only for food. If you're in Medellin, you can order food. Restaurants will be open only for food deliveries.
Yep.
If you need an Uber to the airport and you've got a flight, you can take the Uber. But if you just need to go to your girlfriend's house or go beat up her baby daddy, don't take the Uber. Don't take the Uber. Taxis will also be working. But again, if you get stopped, you may get fined.
So I have one thing. We always talk about business. You guys know that this show, Big Time, is business. Is about business. And man, businesses are being affected. As Andrew said, our business has been affected. Fortunately, we always plan to be affected, whether it's by the coronavirus or other things. So even though we will take a hit like everybody else, it won't be as hard. But man, my heart goes out, Andrew, to a lot of people here in Medellin specifically. And I know they've dealt with a lot of tragedy. Venezuelans, we've got a lot of Venezuelans
Got a lot of Venezuelans out on the street.
Jorge out there, there's people out there like cleaning windows on cars, whether they're busking or like juggling and stuff at the corners to make ends meet. Like literally, they don't live paycheck to check. They live coin to coin, dollar to dollar.
So if you do happen to be out, let's say going to the grocery store, getting your essentials, the pharmacy, I think drugstores and pharmacies may be open as well. for deliveries or walk up pickups or whatever. If it's right around the corner, I think you'd be okay doing that. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a lawyer. But if you do see people on the street, the normal 200 pesos that you would give, why not give a 2,000? I know everyone's hurting. Everybody's hurting.
Yeah.
But if you've
They're
got the
hurting more.
means, why not give the window washer a little bit more? Why not give the panhandler a little bit more? Even if you think they're going to be using it for drugs or alcohol or whatever, these are times where we all have to give in order to get. And I think we're going to get... It's only March, guys, and we're living in a fucking Hollywood movie.
Yeah. The thing is,
it's going to get better.
Here's the thing, too. So the Venezuelans are one thing. I think, if you were middle class, you're probably, from what we understand, you're probably going to get hurt the most. And we're not going to go into the economics of that. A lot of rich people will stay rich. The poor people are accustomed to a certain level of poverty. They're accustomed to not making, they don't have the highest rents and everything to pay. So once again, they're still in survival mode. The folks coming out of Venezuela is still in survival mode. But let me tell you, Sean can testify to this. We go to Ihamia. We eat breakfast there every single morning. Monday, we noticed fewer people there. Tuesday, it was a ghost town. It's been a ghost town since, except a few models that were in there for a photo shoot. But you look around there, in front of us, we've got Sori La Gitana, one of the best pizza shops in the city. They are literally on the cusp of opening and expanding the restaurant because they're doing so well. There's a lot of people right now there's a roof being built in front of us right now. We're in the middle of a construction, a remodel. No one can work. So people are going to take a hit, especially those who are on the brink of, call it, going broke or just starting out.
Right.
And we haven't begun to see the effects of what it's going to do economically to people here. I don't know about government bailouts like in the US and Canada. I don't know who this government's going to bail out. But whether you're a foreigner living here or you're a local person, you're getting affected economically.
Right. Yes, go ahead. Felipe's got a question?
No, I'm signaling you the 5 minutes.
Let's
Okay.
go 5 extra.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's
you read that on
6
the screen.
o'clock right now.
He wrote a very important note about the fine. What happens if you get caught? What happens if you
get caught doing what?
Breaking curfew.
Breaking curfew. So what happens if you get caught breaking curfew? The fine is 900,000 Colombian pesos, which is about $250 or less with today's rate. About $250 a fine if you break curfew in Colombia, in Medellin, and up to 4 years in jail, depending on your transgender. Oh, transgression.
If you're transgendered, you're going to jail for 4 years. No, but wait. But what about the guy today?
Wait, if you're foreign, you'll get quarantined and then deported. So make sure, don't break curfew. Don't risk it. It's not worth it.
But the funny thing is, I don't know how you're going to get deported if there's no flights getting out of here.
No, but you'd be quarantined and then deported once the flights come back.
Yeah,
so
that sucks.
that would suck. You're like in a holding cell for like 30 days, 40 days until flights come back.
And by the way, there's a lot of foreigners right now. For those of you that don't know, a lot of Canadians, we meet them right in Ihamia, and our world's pretty small. It's been really small over the last week, but there's a lot of foreigners that are still stuck here. We've got Calvin, who owns the Black Sheep Hostel. He was talking about, you were talking to him. What did he say is happening to his hostel?
Well, Calvin, who owns one of the bigger hostels here, and older hostels, I should say, not bigger, but older hostels. It was the hostel that I came to when I first landed in Medellin was the Black Sheep Hostel. It's a great party hostel. It's a fun hostel, but he has to close it down. He's going to close it down. I think he had like 20 people in there right now, and it holds up to 80. So as of, I guess, yesterday.
There's people just basically there. He's encouraging them to stay there and stay put till their flight to get out of here.
Right, until their flight's ready.
He's just shutting down.
Right. So it's affected his business. He's shutting down. And on top of that, he had plans to go back to New Zealand to do some business and then come back to Medellin, but he can't. He's stuck in here. We're stuck in Colombia. We were supposed to go on a cruise to Europe, but now we can't. It's probably for the better. That it is for the better. You don't want to be stuck on a cruise ship with Corona. What time is it? It is 6:01.
No more drinking in the street.
Officially can't drink on the street in Medellin. Let's cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
All right. So, cheers. I should drink.
Yeah.
So we're live on Facebook right now and Instagram. So we want to hear your questions. I have a couple questions here right now from some people that are asking on the Medellin Buzz.
Yeah, since we're live.
Yeah, we're live. This is Felipe, by the way.
Yeah.
So I have a couple questions, and there's a couple questions from the public here as to Corona. So my first question, Joel, is when you heard that we were going to get quarantined and had to be in the house basically until Tuesday, what went through your head as far as what do we need to buy?
Toilet paper, toilet paper, toilet paper.
No,
No,
you
I'm
gotta be
joking. There's
kidding
no
me.
toilet paper. I'm not. No, honestly, I thought about the bare essentials. Like, for me, is like rice, eggs, some chicken, and just stuff that I can cook. Basically, we're stocked up on a lot of spices, stuff to eat with, or to eat, and that's basically it for me. I mean, these cleaning products just happen to be here because we buy in bulk or cleaning products. And we stock up on the Huggies, which is a thing that we do out here to clean the old buttocks. But yeah, what I found like a real essential thing, man, and I don't have them here; they're downstairs. We'll throw a photo up or later. Is for those of you who are into fitness, into exercise, and you don't have equipment. I ordered it from a store. I'll put up the name on Rappi actually, and they delivered 2 kettlebells. And so I literally yesterday, when I found out there was a quarantine coming, I ordered 2 12-kilo kettlebells to make sure that if this shit goes on for 3 weeks, I don't develop the dad bod.
Oh yeah, nobody wants the dad bod unless if you're a dad. Big ups.
Big
your
ups to
dad
dads
bod.
like Kyle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dad like Kyle's got a dad bod now.
Yep.
So all right. Well, what I first thought was obviously food. I needed to buy food immediately, and I bought a bunch of beans. As most of you know that I'm vegan, I need that protein, so I bought a bunch of beans, corn, peas, garbanzos. What else did I buy? Broccoli.
Wine. A whole lot of wine.
5 bottles of wine.
Yeah, we're running low now. Felipe is here drinking our stuff.
Here,
But yeah,
serve it up.
wine. We got him to serve up. So you got more questions, or else I was going to jump in on something.
Yeah,
there.
my sister says that, holy cow, this is like a Hollywood movie we're living in.
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
Definitely.
Do you guys agree that we're living in a Hollywood movie right now?
Yeah, what do you guys think? And by the way, if you guys want to interact, give us your opinion, write us in comments, write us messages. And we'll be figuring out, throughout this week how to do more of these, but like mini sessions and, interact with, figure out what you guys are doing at home. Maybe send us some videos, some short videos, and we could even post it on our Instagram page and Facebook page and stuff like that.
So another announcement, I guess, for those of you that are just joining, we're talking about Corona. We've got about 7 minutes left. Just wanted to let you know that you can't go outside if it's not for essential things like going to the hospital, going to the airport. As of 7 o'clock Colombian Standard Time. And Rappi is going to be working, so you can order from restaurants. Restaurants will have personnel. If you are out in the street and you work at a restaurant, I think you're okay. If you work at a hospital, you're allowed. If you're not allowed to be out and you're just loitering, smoking a blunt, not walking your dog, if you need to walk your dog, you can walk it for 20 minutes and then go back inside.
Although nobody's really timing.
Yeah, nobody's timing you, but you can. But I'm sure other residents are watching, and then they're gonna fucking narc on you. But it's the same thing. Yeah, why risk it?
Andrew, will you be my pet?
What?
Would you be my pet? Like, can I walk Andrew outside for 20 minutes and go do some visits?
All right. So I want to ask you guys, what are you guys doing for the quarantine, man? To stay entertained, other than watching our fucking ugly asses.
So let me apart from watching our ugly asses, here's my bit of I'm not any Jim Rohn or any big motivational speaker, but I'll tell you this: I woke up with this in sometimes I wake up like a lot of people and
sometimes I wake up with a heart on. It's true.
Usually I do too, but you guys didn't really need to know that. But anyways, so I wake up sometimes and, it's a bad habit, but, we all go on Instagram and stuff. And one of my friends, the first thing I read on Instagram this morning, and it really changed my perspective, and I got up with a lot of energy, was don't complain about having to stay in your place under a roof, motherfucker. You have a roof. right? Be thankful that you have a place to be in. And I thought, wow, that is so damn true. There's so many people that don't even know where they're staying tonight. And not just that, the biggest thing, I think we're all going to talk about this in a day, a week, a month, about this experience that we're living in right now. And honestly, I'm pretty thankful for having this experience because I think that it's going to teach me a lot. It's going to teach us a lot. A friend of mine said, you know what, Joel, Vasquez, if you're out watching, she's like, Joel, I think that when this thing's done, people are going to want to go out so much and socialize. Those that didn't want to socialize, they're going to want to dance. They're going to have a lot of sex. I'm like, I fucking hope so. But one of the biggest things, man, and this is my encouragement from me as Joel, a person, is try to use this time, whether it's 4 days till Tuesday, it's 2 weeks, it's a month, or it's 2 months. Use the time to better yourself and come out of this stronger and better and not weaker. Don't get the dad bod. Don't just throw yourself on a couch and smoke weed and drink booze all the time. Like,
play video games.
Play some video games. Learn some software.
My gamer tag by the way, my gamer tag on Call of Duty on the cell phone is Andrew Macia altogether. I'm also, I log on as Facebook.
Yeah.
Gamer tag on FIFA is Scentless Giant. Scentless Giant, like scentless, like you got no scent. Scentless Giant on FIFA. Get at me. You don't want this smoke. Trust me. I'm a level 2 or Division 2. Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah. So Andrew will definitely be playing the games. I'm not going to be playing the games. One of the things I'll be doing personally is learning Procreate on my iPad, learning how to draw. Yesterday I learned to draw a banana. And hopefully in 2 weeks, I'll be way beyond a banana and drawing like animals and stuff like that. But use the time to read, talk to your loved ones, do something positive.
I walked past you when you were drawing the banana, but it looked like a dick.
Sometimes bananas look like dicks. That's yeah.
So I've been preparing for something like this for about 2 years now. I've been taking vitamin C, vitamin B12. Ever since I became a fucking vegan, I started taking these like pills like vitamin C, vitamin B12, vitamin D, and zinc. And I can't remember the last time I got real sick. Even before then, I've always been pretty healthy, but now nearing my 40s, I think it's important.
You're a cuarentón in cuarentena.
I'm becoming a spinster.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those of you that don't know what a spinster is, it's like a tío or a tía that just never got married.
Yeah.
Never got kids.
Yeah. And stays home and plays video games.
Yeah, no. Well, at least I'm trying to be like a successful one.
A hip
one. A hippopotamus. So, support your local and no big chains.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Felipe, that's Felipe's message. He's basically saying, don't wear big chains when you go outside. There's nobody going to be there to rob you. No, he's saying don't support the Walmarts or wherever you are around the world.
There's people working there.
That's what he's saying.
But
he's saying local business. I didn't say that. I'm reading what he said. He said support here in Medellin.
Support the little guys.
Support the little guys. Buy local. Order local if you can. Those guys are going to hurt the most.
Those are the ones that are going to be hurt the most. But
yeah.
Like fucking Éxito, sure, things are good. Brightmark, they're going to survive.
Yeah.
They're going to be just fine after this.
Yeah.
Like the tienditas, even if it's just the fucking D one, which is not a little guy, but still.
Hey, support me, Felipe, and Andrew. Keep us live.
So some people are saying what they're going to be doing while they're quarantined up or isolated. Yeah. So Francisco says that he's going to work. Good, because he works for us. He's going to be on Netflix. Damn, I haven't been on Netflix. The only thing I've been watching on Netflix is Ugly Delicious and The Chef Show.
All right.
He's going to be playing the Nintendo Switch. Hit me up on FIFA, Franco. You don't want this smoke. Cindy says that she's going to make Franco clean the house.
Sounds like we've only got 2 people watching this. Hopefully we've got more.
And Franco says he's going to listen to audiobooks. So we've got a total of 2 people watching and listening to us.
Yo, so this is, by the way, Felipe's got to go because curfew is here and he's got to make himself across town.
So he's going to take that, but we'll still be on live.
We'll be on live.
Yeah, well, we're literally on live.
I know, we'll be on live a little bit while he packs up. And if anybody has questions they want to ask, I'll put my face up to that screen. Andrew will put his face and booty up to that screen. And you can ask him, hey, leave comments in here. And, one of the things we can do is we can go live at any point during the day to chit-chat about a lot of bullshit because we got a lot of time. Hey, people, stay positive. Come out on the positive side of this quarantine. Andrew, any last words?
My last words are, if I die, all my stuff will go to Franco Macia. Everything that I own will go to Francisco Macia. So that's why me and him can't go on flights together or anything. It's because if I die, everything goes to him. That's my final words.
So Andrew's giving his will on this show. Yeah, my will, man, is just come out on top of this one. Let's be better. Let's be buffer, smarter, closer to our family, closer to our friends outside of this one. And that's it. See you guys on the next episode dropping on Wednesday. See you
Dropping
later.
on Wednesday. Thank you.
Ciao. Bye. Are you clapping for yourself?
Well, before you go ahead and flush that toilet, you can find us on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox. You can see our ugly faces where, Joel?
You can see our ugly faces on YouTube.com.
And on Facebook and Instagram. See you guys later.
And always remember, wash your hands after taking that ugly dump.